Hi, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via and our renowned student model, Kathy. Today is February 6th. I'm in Los Angeles instead of Mexico. And we're going to do a pretty typical standard basic practice that includes some osteoporosis 40-second holds. Let's start in the ordinary fashion, just lying on your back and finding your breath. Noticing the breath you came in with, not trying to change it. It might change, but it's not because you're trying to change it. Just breathing. Collecting every part of you to bring it into the room. Mind, body, spirit. I love my body loves me. Go ahead and focus on a spot that's the pituitary gland. It's inside your skull, just behind the middle of the eyeball sockets, so, and down a little. This is a very quiet place to rest your attention. I love my body loves me. And my body especially loves me when I exercise. Apparently, I read an article about that today. Bring your hands behind your head, vagus nerve reset. You can stack your hands, interlace your fingers. If it's hard to have your arms up there for a long time, you can put them down beside you. Without moving anything else, shift your eyeballs to the right and wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Come back to center, shift your eyeballs to the left. Wait for an involuntary sigh, yawn, swallow, or gulp. Come back to center. Do this 2 more times without my cueing it. Vagus nerve reset. Shifty eyes. Right, left, right, left. Finish up and stay right there. We're going to do head ramping, just pressing your head into press the back of the skull into the floor, into your hands into the floor. The head slides along the floor away from your shoulders. The chin drops a little bit. And just take a couple breaths and then repeat. We do this every week, every class, because everybody is using their computers and their cell phones, and this corrects the problems that are associated with using your computer and your cell phone. Returning the cervical vertebra back to where it belongs, or directly over the rest of the spine. Do it a couple more times. And then bring your hands down beside your hips. And why don't we do ribcage breathing? So you're going to take your hands and wrap them around your ribcage, the bottom of your ribcage, with your thumb down and your fingers up, just at the ribcage, so that when you inhale, you can feel the expansion of the ribcage with your fingers. And then exhale, and the rib cage comes back, recoils. And see if you can also notice the expansion from front to back. So side to side expansion on your inhale, also front to back. And a couple more times, rib cage breathing. And when you're done, get ready for hypopressives. We're going to do the bridge with the, so your legs are going to, your heels are down, your toes are up, your arms are beside your hips, and just show them, Kathy, how you go up. So when we're holding the breath out, the hips come up and the arms go overhead, and then you're going to hold for 15 counts, and then come on down on an inhale and an exhale. Okay, but first 3 breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale all the way out. Hold your breath, lift your hips on arms overhead. Stay here, 1, 2, no breath, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stay as long as you can. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale, hips come down. Exhale, arms come down. And let's do that one more time. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, all the way out. Exhale. Lift your hips up and your arms overhead as far as they'll go. No breath, holding the breath out. The inhale out, no inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Stay as long as you can. 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale, the hips come down, and exhale, the arms come down. The hypopressive practice is over for this class. We're going to stay here and do leg stretch. Leg stretches number 1 and 2. So find your strap. You should have a strap or something similar to a strap. And the leg goes up, straight up toward the ceiling. And we're going to hold. I'm going to count. Let me find my counter. We're going to count to 40 because this is 40 seconds. The timer is going to count. You don't have to count. I don't have to count. Remember to keep your hips on the floor. Legs up. The strap is helping you. This also stretch the hamstrings. There's lots of things this does actually. But one of the things it does is build new bone. Leg stretch number 1. The opposite leg can be straight or bent. Either one. And now staying on the same side, we're going to do leg stretch number 2. So just take it out to the side. Try to keep both hips down and even. That's the trick. You can use your strap to pull your leg up, foot up towards your nose. We're going to stay here for 40 seconds to build some new bone in the femur, the head of the femur, and also in the hip socket. Just stay here and breathe, aware of your breath, aware of your movement, where your body is in space, time and space. Come all the way back up, bring your leg up, switch sides. The strap goes on the ball of the left foot. And just stay here and breathe and enjoy. You should feel your core working here too. You're holding onto the strap with both hands. One side of the strap, one hand. The other side, the other strap, other hand. We're going to go directly to leg stretch number 2. Remember, the trick is to keep your hips even on the floor as you take your leg out to the outside as far as you can and still keep your hips on the floor. It might not be as far as Kathy's. She's been around a long time.
I do this a lot.
But yours will get better too. This is a hip opener. It will help you. You can imagine it will help you with your floor seated positions. Come on back. Set aside your strap. Let's do crisscross. Come up into a, bend your knees and bring your knees up into a tabletop position, it's called.
Oh, okay.
And then crossing, so one leg goes, yeah, it's like that. And you can make it bigger than that if you want to. It can be small, it can be big. This is I think this is a really nice movement for just, for opening the hips and also creating, you have to use your core in order to wiggle your legs like that. You have to use your core. So let's just do that for a while. It's bouncy. It's one of the few bouncy things we do. Let's go ahead and come up to a floor seated, finish that, come up to a floor seated position, cross-legged position for the side bend and the spine twist. And then we'll do a stacked knees position with one wrist exercise today. Next week, I think we're gonna work on wrists and fingers, just for fun. Side bend, so take your right hand out to the right, the left arm comes up and over. I'm going to go back to I'm flipping between my script and my timer. Okay. So your arm is up and over. Remember to keep your hips level on the floor. So all of this is a side bend. This should be good for you, Suzanne. Any side bend is going to be good for you. I have a theory about your hula hip injury, that it might be an injury of the, oh my gosh, now I'll tell you later. I apparently can't think about two things at once. Go ahead and bring oops, we didn't do that. We'll do it next time. We didn't stretch the latissimus dorsi. We'll do this twice and we'll catch it next time. Come on up, so all the way up, and the other side, left arm over, up, left arm out, right arm up and over. I'm almost doing this, which is pretty amazing.
It's good.
Right, I can't get it quite up there.
Woohoo!
And then in a few seconds, we're going to take the elbow forward and we'll stretch the latissimus dorsi on this side. You should feel a nice pull under the armpit, back of the armpit.
Should I move my elbow?
Oh, I already asked you to move your elbow forward.
Okay. On that. Sorry.
Okay, come on back, elbow first, then your thoracic spine up. We're going to try to do a better job of that next time. Improve on that one. Go out to the right, your right hand slides out to the right, left arm up and over. And stay here. Keep your hips even on the floor. And just breathing and enjoying this is a thoracic side bend. You can drop your ear to it'll be also cervical side bend. Go ahead and bring your left elbow forward, stretching latissimus dorsi, right at your armpit. You should feel this at the back of your armpit. Every time you exercise, you build new cells. Come on back, elbow first, and now the thoracic spine. Other side. Left arm up and over. Stay here and breathe. And then go ahead and bring your elbow forward so that you can feel the stretch in a different place, right behind the armpit. And just stay here and breathe. And come on back, elbow first, and then up. Okay, so what I was saying to Suzanne is I have a theory that your hula hoop injury, it has to do with your quadratus lumborum, which is that muscle. Maybe you can point it out, Kathy, at the waist. And so anytime you're doing side bends or stretch or spine twists, actually you may be able, that may help you with your injury, which I had one time from being stupid. It wasn't a hula hoop, it was some other stupidity. And it took a while to heal. Let's go to spine twist. Just starting on the right. So if you're starting on the right, the left hand goes to the right knee, and the right arm goes behind you. Spider fingers. We're just going to time. Maintain your rotation, your spinal rotation. And while you're here, if you want to, optional, go ahead and slide the rib cage from side to side without involving the shoulders or the upper trapezius. Anytime we can loosen up the rib cage area, we're actually helping with the lower back, because the rib cage can do it and the thoracic spine can do its job instead of having the lumbar spine do the job of the thoracic spine. Unwind, come to the other side, right arm on left knee. It's not really, you're not pushing with that arm, you're just resting it there for structure. Left arm behind you, spider fingers. So finding your rotation as far as you can go, comfortably, still sitting tall. And then while you're here, if you'd like, you can slide the rib cage side to side. This could be a very small movement. You shouldn't be shrugging your shoulders while you do this. Come on back, unravel all the way. Stack your knees. We're going to do a stacked knees wrist twist. Start on, I should have mentioned switching legs, but I didn't. I hope you guys. But stack your legs. You may want to sit on a brick like Kathy is. One knee over the other, or as best you can do it, and bring your arms out in front of you. Hands, back of the hands facing each other. Lift the right hand and then bring it back and interlace the fingers, your fingers, and then drop your hands, your interlaced hands towards your towards the floor, then up towards your chest, and then towards your chin. We're going to stay here. We're going to stay here for 40 seconds. Stay here and see if, check out your pose. Can you improve your stacked knees? Can you drop your wrists a little bit lower? Maybe so, maybe not. Can you sit tall? Hopefully sit tall, open your chest. Just breathe. Nice wrist twist. Well, nice hip opener. Nice wrist twist. And unravel yourself, switch the legs, cross the legs the other way, stack them. So see, Kathy's sitting on, this is a little harder for you, Kathy, this side. That could be true for everybody. Actually, I think that was a cardio workout because I'm going to have to take off my second jacket. I think that whole thing was cardio. Go ahead and bring your arms out in front of you. Now this time left hand goes up, over, interlace the fingers in front of you. Drop your hands and then bring them back up towards your chest and up towards your chin. We're going to start timing. Stay here and enjoy this twist. Sit as tall as you can. Improve your stack knees if you can. And you want to sit with your sits bones even and spine straight up from the sits bones. Chest should feel open. Although a tendency, it would be easy to round your shoulders here. Try to keep your shoulders open. And come on out of that. Come on out and I'll go look at my script and see what I have next. Okay. Okay, we're going to do the get-ups. So starting with your chair in front of you, on your hands and knees facing the chair or a sofa or a something. Coffee table. I don't have any of those things. Oh, I have a coffee table. So starting in a quadruped, and all you do here is just put your one hand on the chair and then bring the opposite leg forward. So facing the chair, face the chair when you do this, I think is better. Otherwise you could, and then come on up to a standing. Use your leg and your hand to bring you up. And switch sides. So the other hand goes on the chair and the opposite leg forward, and see if you can bring yourself up to standing. That's the basic, easiest way to get up off the floor. The next thing we're going to do is practice some things that will help with a get up. And the first thing is going to be a deep squat. So Kathy, find a brick. You may want to use any of the edges of your brick, any of the thicknesses. There are 3. And put it behind you, just behind your legs, and then sit on it. Or you can do this without sitting on a brick. This is a deep squat, a resting squat. And I recommend doing this as often as you can because it's going to help you with your get up. And just staying here and breathing. If your heels do not hit the floor, put a mobility strip underneath them so that they're resting on something. This releases your lower back. It's just a really great pose. Oh, I was going to time and I didn't, but I'm thinking we're probably down here for long enough. So come out. Just know that you could benefit by sitting here for a half hour, but we're not going to devote half of the class to that pose. We're going to go ahead and let's do this. Instead of doing forward and backward lunge, I'm going to teach you a lunge position. So get into a lunge position where you're up start on your hands and knees. Start on your hands and knees, and then bring your right leg forward.
Okay, hold on. I got a position. Let's see.
Bring your right leg forward. And if you need to, you could put your hand would be on That's on the chair, but your chair would be to beside you as opposed to in front of you.
Side.
So, but it would be on the other side. Your chair would be between you and the camera. So, whoops, Kathy, start with the right. Put your chair on the left.
Um,
Can you put your chair on the left? This is, yeah, you won't, people won't be able to see Kathy, but
that's the problem.
yeah. Okay.
But we'll do it the other way too.
Okay. So now you have 90 your degree, your knees are 90. Now you're going to just come forward with your right knee and stretch the psoas muscle and the other hip muscles on the with the left knee. So you should feel that, and then you just come on back. And you can do this without a chair. You can do this without a chair, but if you need a chair, you need use it and do this. So it's forward. Keep your back straight. Keep your back straight. The knee comes forward. What you should feel is a big stretch on the left, in the front. In the front.
I feel it both ways.
Both ways. Okay, feel it. So this is a psoas stretch. The psoas actually gets very tight when we sit a lot. Keep doing this. It's just you go forward, bounce a little bit, and come back. And forward and find that stretch in the psoas muscle, which is at the groin, front on the left. What happens is when we sit a lot, the psoas gets very tight. This is one of the best ways I know of to change that. If your psoas is tight, it might affect your lower back. Switch sides.
Oh, that. There we go.
Okay, hopefully everyone can find it. If this bothers the knee that's on the ground, put something under that knee. Put a pillow or a blanket or an extra folded yoga mat. So you're just kind of bent, the front knee comes forward and the psoas stretches. And you ought to be able to feel this. If you did this a lot, you would start feeling just like you want to have your calves stretched on the half round. This would become something you would just like want to do. And the nice thing about it is it's also a lunge, which helps with get-ups. This is a lunge psoas stretch. And do it a couple more times and then stop and come up to, let's come up to standing. Come up to standing. And we're going to do back bend at the wall. So you're going to stand in front of the wall, facing away from the wall. Keep standing in good posture. Let's stand in good posture for a minute. Just feel into your good posture. So a good posture is stacked, but everyone's posture looks different. So don't think yours has to look like Kathy's or mine or anyone else's here. So, but you want to think of your ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, and ears as being stacked, one on top of the other, all the way up. I have to, in order to feel like my chest is the right position in a good posture, I have to squeeze my rhomboid, squeeze my scapula a little bit together. And then I can feel like my shoulders are directly over my hips. Other people may not need that, but that's what I have to do for I've started to try to, instead of just thinking analytically about my posture, I'm trying to feel into this. When does it feel right for me? So having said that, now that you've done that, go ahead and bend your elbows, bring your arms up overhead, and I will go back to the counter. Wherever that is there. And just, your hands can be on the back of the wall, either your hand or your fingers. And remember that you don't want to jut your hips out. The hips stay over the knees, that stay over the ankles. Just breathe. A lovely back extension and chest opener. If you can't do this or don't like this, you could be in a chair or even on the floor and put your hands on the back of the chair or on the floor behind you and open your chest that way. Come on back, come on down. And let's do side spine twist. Starting on the right foot forward, left foot behind you. Go ahead and bend your elbows and then rotate your thoracic spine to the right. And so the spine is facing the wall, the hips are facing forward. And you're breathing and enjoying this amazing spine twist. And unravel, come to the other side. This time the left shoulder's at the wall, the left leg is forward, the back leg, the right leg is back. And then bend your elbows and rotate your spine, your thoracic spine, towards the wall, big spine twist, with the hips forward. And we're going to time for 40 seconds. These are all, when I time for 40, these are all osteoporosis poses too, so anti-osteoporosis. I had a bone density test last week. I'm not going to get the results for about 10 days. We'll see what they say about my osteoporosis. Hopefully it's improved, but I couldn't say for sure. Come on back, all the way back. Let's do a balancing while we're still standing. Let's do some balancing on one foot. So you probably need a chair near you. Just in case, this is obviously, well, this is a balancing, so you might want to touch the chair. Just lift your right leg up. You can either lift it up in front of you or behind you. You can hold on, tuck your ankle, your foot around your calf. Oh, I'm supposed to be timing now. This is another bone building bone in the femur. And just staying here and breathing, and you can look at a point across, a fixed point across the room if you'd like. You can touch your chair if you need to. The more you do this, the better you get, and the better your balance will get. This is how you maintain or claim, restore your balance. Or walking on boulders at Leo Korea Beach.
Walking on boulders. If you don't have boulders handy, this works.
Right, other side. That was an inside joke for Parvin and me, who walked on some boulders at Leo Cabrillo Beach last week with our granddaughters. We share granddaughters, 2 granddaughters. She's the other grandmother, or I'm the other grandmother, depending on how you look at it. You'll lose your balance, sense of balance as you age, guaranteed. But if you do this, you're guaranteed to get it back.
I do it standing in front of the microwave waiting for it to finish.
I do a lot of, I mean, I never worry about waiting now.
Yeah, you have stuff.
Because there's so many things I can do that are beneficial. Balancing on one foot is one of them. And have we finished both sides? Both?
Oh, we need to do that one again.
Okay, let's do the other side. If you love doing yoga tree pose, you can do that here too. I don't like to add the hip rotation because it just keep it simple. Make it just a simple balance, I say. Some people like tree. You can increase the time on this in your home practice. Come on back. Let's do heel lifts. Get a therapy ball because we're going to add a therapy ball after we do a number of heel lifts. This is another thing you can do at the grocery store, hanging off or touching lightly the back of your cart. Up and down she goes. And then whenever you want to, Kathy's already doing it, just add the therapy ball at the far back, as far back as you can get it, and hold it between your heels and continue to lift your heels. You might be able to feel the connection between your feet and your core because you've added this heel lift, this therapy ball between your heels. Good for the ankles. Okay, next, short foot. So this is a standing pose. It could be a seated pose, by the way. You could do short foot seated. We're going to do a split stance short foot. So you're going to stand in good posture, find your good posture, and then take your right foot forward. And now lift the toes and spread them. Hold that while you grab your abdominals at the lowest point you can grab them, down by your pubic bone. And now drop your toes and press them in the toe pads into the floor. You might have stepped a little too far forward, Kathy.
Yeah.
That'll throw you off balance. So spreading, grabbing your abdominals, dropping your toe pads, pressing them on the floor. Now you want to move your attention between the medial arch and the core. So where you're holding at your abdominals. So core, arch, arch, core. So just keep focusing on one point and then the other. There is a connection between the feet and the core, and we're helping you find it and activate it and use it. And then go ahead and switch sides. So the left foot comes forward. The right foot, make sure that you're not going to fall over because you stepped too far forward. So find your best stance. Lift your toes and spread them. Grab your abdominals at the lowest point that you can find. Drop your toes and press your toe pads on the floor. And then start moving your attention between your medial arch and the core. Medial arch and core. Keep your short foot. Keep the short foot down, the toes down. It'll help you find your arch. Let's do one more of these. One more set. Right foot forward. Spread your toes. Lift them. Find your core. Whoops, wait a minute, Kathy. Spread your toes, lift them. Find your core. And now drop your toes and press the toe pads on the floor. And then just spend some time moving your attention between the core and the medial arch. The medial arch should be very apparent to you because you've activated it with your short foot, your toes. Go ahead and switch sides. Left foot forward, spread your toes, lift them and spread them, and then grab your abdominals. Now drop your toes and press your toe pads into the mat. Now bring your attention to your core and then your medial arch, and then keep moving between those 2 points. Keep your toes on the floor. Okay. Come on down to the floor. Let's come into a child's pose. Your knees can be wide or narrow. We're gonna take your arms straight out in front of you and straighten them out by your ears. Keep them by your ears. And then we're going to stretch the latissimus dorsi again by walking the arms to the right first. So you should feel this in the left armpit, or the arms and the body, actually. You're walking to the left, to the right. Feel it in your left armpit. Make it long. Then come on back to center. Other side. This is a nice, there's a lot of things you can do off of a child's pose. This is one of them. Nice shoulder stretch, armpit stretch. And just get as long as you can, your arms as long as you can. And come on back. Find your way onto your belly for the back extension, the Pilates back extension, actually. The basic back extension. We're going to do a basic, and then we're going to go into airplane. But the basic first, your arms are at your hips, palms up. Take an inhale to prepare, and an exhale to lift your chest, your arms, and your head. Remember, it's like head ramping, and stay here for a couple seconds. Breathe, maybe coming up a little higher. Take an inhale to prepare to return and an exhale to return. And now we're going to come up into airplane, starting without airplane. Take an inhale to prepare, exhale to lift. Inhale to prepare for airplane, exhale, arms come out. And go ahead and stay here if you can, as long as you can. And you may want to come up a little higher with your upper back if you can. And this is an amazing pose, not only because it's building bone density in the upper back, the thoracic spine, but it's also building strong muscles along the side of the spine. Just staying here for a few more seconds, if you can. And then inhaling to prepare, and then exhaling to come on down. Bring your arms out into a T. This is a thoracic stretch based for the thoracic back. Release and stretch. Look to the right, bring your right leg up and over. So the hips and the legs can do whatever you want here while you keep your arms and your armpits and your chest on the floor. Don't move your upper body. And just stay here and breathe. Come back and we'll do the other side. Look to the left leg comes up and over the back, the other leg. And keep your armpits on the floor. This is, even though you're moving the hips to release the upper back. It's one of my favorite poses, actually. Okay, come on back and find your way onto your back for the closing meditation, Yoga Nidra. Find a warm and comfortable place. If you're as cold as I am, you'll want a blanket on. But if you're not, just you want to be warm and comfortable. Your legs can be extended, your knees can be bent, your knees could be up on a chair, which is one of my favorite things to do. Just go ahead and listen to my voice as I guide you through 61 points in your body. Listen to my voice and bring your attention to the points that I mentioned, starting with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out, observing your belly as it rises and falls. And then bring your awareness and your attention to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes our 61-point guided yoga nidra meditation. Go ahead and stretch your legs out along the mat if they're not already there. Bring your arms overhead and try to create some more space between, a little bit more space between your hips, your pelvis, and your rib cage. Just stretching, stretching, stretching. Right, left, both. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles. Circle one way and then the other. Hug your right knee to your chest and then your left. Hug both knees to your chest and rock from side to side. Releasing your lower back. And then whenever you're ready, just roll all the way to one side. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. Use your top hand pressed into the floor to bring yourself up to seated without rounding your back. Everyone unmute themselves. I'm going to remove the spotlight. I'm going to take my view to gallery. And so not everybody's unmuted. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please. And bring your hands together at your heart. Press your palms strongly together and see if you can actually activate some of the muscles in your upper back and your shoulders. See if you can open your chest a little while you're doing that. And then go ahead and relax everything so that the fingers are together, but very soft. Go ahead and lift your skull up away from your shoulders so that you can nod forward over the cervical spine. The cervical spine stays straight. The skull nods over the spine. Just all the way down as far as you can go. Nodding, bowing to each other, acknowledging and honoring the light in each other. Knowing that we are all one light. And we'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording. People can stick around and ask questions or chat if they want to or not. You can drop off too.